7 divine lies that block your miraculous power, revealed for your supernatural deliverance. In the heart of a picturesque English village, where sun-drenched cobblestone streets wound their way through vibrant gardens, Mary clung to a sacred hope as her young son Jacob battled a rare illness that left doctors baffled. Surrounded by the whispers of doubt, her faith was tested daily. Old Mr. Thompson's harsh words echoed relentlessly, "God doesn't heal anymore," and the sidelong glances from shopkeepers felt like daggers to her spirit. But Mary knew that within the walls of the quaint chapel, miracles awaited. One fateful day, as clouds hovered ominously overhead, Mary felt an unfamiliar stirring in her heart, a powerful urge that perhaps God was about to work wonders. She gathered Jacob close, the warmth of his small hand in hers a comforting reminder of the promise she held tight. God was a healer. With each prayer, light filled the room, as if angels hovered nearby, listening. "Believe," she whispered, believing each word echoed in the very heavens. On restless nights, she sought solace in the vibrant fellowship of a local prayer group. They gathered under flickering candles, their eyes shining with unyielding faith, a family bonded by trials. Pastor Thomas, his voice low yet fervent, filled the air with encouragement. "Claim his promises, Mary. Miracles flourish where hope refuses to die." Each prayer uttered among friends resonated like a sweet symphony, lifting her spirit closer to heaven. Yet deeper shades of doubt crept in. What if it's your fault? Burrowed into her thoughts, casting shadows over her faith. Then came that luminous evening when the whole village gathered for a community prayer vigil beneath a sprawling canopy of stars. The air crackled with divine anticipation, thick with hope as flickering candles mirrored the soul's yearning for healing. Mary, her heart racing, stepped forward, her voice trembling yet resolute. "I'm here because I believe in a God who can heal, not just for me, but for all of us." The congregation held its breath. Suddenly, a prophetic voice pierced through the silence, a divine whisper challenging each lie Mary had harbored. "Fear not, your faith unlocks the door to miracles." Her heart raced as echoes of encouragement surged through the crowd. It tugged at her spirit, igniting a fierce determination that pushed her into the realm of possibility. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can, leave a like. It really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. Just as despair threatened to snuff out her flickering hope, the miraculous happened. With the brightness of 1,000 suns, Jacob sprang up from his seat, vibrant and alive, laughter bubbling forth, a testament to healing that defied earthly understanding. Gasps of disbelief echoed through the chapel. Faces shifted from skepticism to wonder as hearts stirred with renewed belief. In that moment, Mary felt the divine warmth enveloping her, a reassuring breath of heavenly joy. The once quiet chapel transformed into a furnace of faith, igniting the slumbering spirits of the townsfolk. What lies had they believed? What miracles awaited them too? As Mary stood amid the jubilant crowd, Mary realized this was merely the beginning. The village shone with hope, yet shadows of unanswered questions lingered. What would emerge next in this unfolding journey of faith? The possibilities were as endless as the stars overhead. The village awoke the next day with a newfound vibrancy. The sun poured its golden light over the cobbled streets, illuminating not just the humble homes, but also the hearts of the villagers. Mary could feel the shift. This was no ordinary day.
Hope danced through the air, mingling with laughter and the sweet scent of blooming flowers. As she walked through the bustling market with Jacob, his little hand gripping hers tightly, she noticed whispers of excitement ripple through the crowd. "Did you see Jacob, the miracle child?" A woman clutched her own child closer, eyes wide with both awe and yearning. Mary's heart swelled. "Will we see another miracle?" a curious voice asked, filled with childish wonder. A group of children followed Jacob, their laughter echoing, unaware of the heavy cloak of doubt that was slowly lifting from the village. Mary felt a spark of joy. With each step, she could sense faith beginning to rise like bread in an oven, warm and full of life. That afternoon, as Mary and Jacob returned home, she felt a deep call to visit the chapel once more. The air around it buzzed with vibrant energy. Inside, she found a small group kneeling in prayer, their hands lifted high, voices blended in a sweet symphony of hope. They were there to claim their miracles, to rid themselves of the burdens that weighed them down. "Mary," exclaimed Ruth, a fellow prayer warrior, as she looked up from her knees, "join us. We're seeking the Lord's face. We want to draw nearer to Him." Mary's heart leapt. She had worried that God's work was done, but now she saw that it was just starting to unfold. As they prayed, the atmosphere thickened with expectancy. Suddenly, a gentle breeze swept through the chapel, rustling the pages of the open Bible beside the altar. The candles flickered, casting vibrant shadows that danced on the walls. Mary felt a presence, a divine touch that enveloped her like a warm embrace. "Friends," Pastor Thomas's voice broke through the whispers, "let us share our hearts openly. What is it that you yearn for?"
What miracles do you seek? Mary's breath caught in her throat as she pondered. She felt Jacob's small hand on her shoulder, grounding her. She looked around, seeing the earnest faces of her fellow villagers reflecting a kaleidoscope of hopes and dreams. Each one bore their own struggles, their own walls they wished to break through. I want to believe that our Creator can do more than I dare to imagine," Mary finally spoke, her voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions within her. "I want to witness the power of God's love, not just for me and Jacob, but for all of us." A profound silence followed her words, the weight of her declaration hanging in the air like ripe fruit, waiting to fall. Then a soft, melodic voice permeated the stillness. "When you surrender your doubts, you create a space for miracles. It is time to break free." Suddenly, a surge of confidence swept through the congregation, echoing Mary's truth. They joined hands, and the air vibrated with a collective belief. But as the fervor built and tears of joy flowed, Mary wondered what lay in wait beyond this gathering of believers. What glimmers of divine revelations would soon unfold. The promise of miracles stretched out before them like an open road, but paths remained uncertain and uncharted. What would they discover as their collective faith began to illuminate the darkness? Would this newfound belief conquer the shadows once and for all? A thrilling sense of anticipation hung in the air, leaving Mary pondering how far God might lead them next. The night deepened around the village, draping it in a veil of peace. Lanterns flickered, casting gentle glows that danced across the cobbled streets. Inside the chapel, warmth radiated from the people gathered, each heart a beacon of hope, each voice a thread woven into the fabric of faith. As the prayers continued, Mary felt the stirring of something greater. Thoughts of the miracles, the yearning spoken, spun through her mind like a restless wind. She closed her eyes, picturing each person, each struggle laid bare, and she whispered a prayer of her own. "Lord, help us to believe. Help us to see." The air thickened with expectancy, and Mary flicked her gaze to Pastor Thomas.
His face glowed with uninhibited joy, but his eyes sparkled with a quiet understanding of the burden of faith. He shared stories, tales of miracles past, knitting hope into the hearts around him. Each narrative was like a ladder, bringing them closer to the heavens. "Remember, my friends," he said, his tone earnest, "our faith is like a river. It flows where we let it. Let us not dam it with doubts or lies. We must believe that miracles are all around us." His words struck deep. Mary felt Jacob squeeze her hand, his wide eyes absorbing every word. She leaned down, brushing a strand of hair from her forehead. "Do you feel it, Jacob? The presence of something divine?" He nodded, his innocence a reminder of the pure faith that often eludes adults. A subtle stirring caught Mary's attention. In the corner, a man named Elijah, known for his solemn temperament, stood. His face bore the weight of unfulfilled prayers and lost hopes. He shifted nervously, then spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. "What if I told you that I've held on to lies that I am unworthy to receive?" Gasps filled the room, a collective murmur, undoubtedly a shared struggle. Pastor Thomas stepped forward gently. "Elijah, the grace of God is freely given. We have all embraced lies that hinder us from receiving His miracles, but together we can break these chains." Mary's heartbeat quickened. She realized that this moment was more than just words. It was a call to confront deep-seated beliefs. What lies do we tell ourselves, she reflected? Do we think we are beyond redemption, that our sins outweigh His grace? Her stomach knotted at the thought. It felt so true, so raw. As the congregation began to share their own doubts, their voices intertwined. "I don't deserve it. What if I fail? I'm just too broken." Each statement was like a stumbling block on the road to miracles. Then a thunderous clap of lightning illuminated the sky briefly, casting shadows of doubt away. Suddenly, a beautiful chorus of voices emerged. "We are not defined by our past. In Him we are made new." Mary could feel faith swirling around, and she lifted her hands, inviting the truth to wash over her. "Lord, cleanse us of these lies. Let us step into your light, where peace and miracles reside." The others joined in, an echoing chorus of surrender and faith. As the energy shifted, something remarkable began to happen. Light streamed into the chapel, filling every corner with a golden hue, illuminating the place as if heaven had opened its arms. In that moment, a child dared to speak again, eyes filled with wonder lingering in the light. "But what if we can't see what comes next? What if the path ahead is still dark?" Silence fell over the congregation once more. How deep had their faith really gone? A question hung in the air like a heavy mist. Was this the moment they truly let go of their fears, or would they allow the lies to tether them back into doubt? What lay ahead, beyond this shared vulnerability and illumination? The anticipation burned brighter than the candles. A divine mystery beckoned. Where would their faith take them now? A hush enveloped the chapel, as if the very air was pregnant with expectation. Each member of the congregation held a breath, their collective silence filling the space with a sacred tension. Mary sensed the hesitation, a delicate thread stretching thin, waiting for something to cut through it. Pastor Thomas stepped forward, his heart brimming with compassion. "Let us not fear the dark," he urged, his voice steady like a lighthouse in the storm. "Remember that our struggles do not define us, our trust in Him does." Warmth surged through Mary's heart. She looked around, catching the eyes of those she had known for years, Elijah with his furrowed brow, the elderly Sarah whose hands trembled, Jacob, innocent but profound in his belief. Each face carried a mixture of fear and hope, woven together by the presence of something greater than themselves. And just as the night seems endless, so too can our faith illuminate the path before us, Pastor Thomas exclaimed, raising his hands in a gesture that welcomed the divine. "Let's proclaim together, I trust in His plan." One by one, voices joined in, building into a majestic crescendo. "I trust in His plan. I trust in His plan." The words thundered through the room, breaking barriers and sweeping aside the doubt that clung like fog. At that moment, a ripple of energy flowed through the chapel. Mary felt her spirit lift, lightness replacing the heaviness. Could it be true? A wave of divine courage washed over her, and she too joined in the chant. Each utterance became a stepping stone, propelling them forward into trust and faith. It was as if the very walls of the chapel absorbed their declarations, echoing them back, amplifying their impact. In the corner, Elijah began to cry, tears of release cascading down his weathered cheeks. "I can't hold on to these chains any longer," he cried out, his voice suddenly vibrant. "I was never meant to carry this weight alone." "Yes, brother," shouted someone from the back. "We bear each other's burdens." "And we are not alone," echoed another. The response flowed like a river, as joy and camaraderie wrapped around them, lifting their spirits to new heights. Mary marveled at the moment, observing with gratitude. Here stood a community, raw and real, unearthing their fears to allow faith to breathe. She sensed a shift, a breaking of chains, as inner battles began to surrender to the power of collective belief. Suddenly, the light within the chapel blazed brighter, almost blinding. A voice, the voice of peace, whispered through the crowd. "Believe in the unseen, for the greatest miracles often lie beyond what your eyes can perceive." Eager anticipation surged again, and a hush enveloped them yet again. Eyes widened in wonder, searching the depths of their faith for understanding. What does that mean? Mary pondered, her heart racing. Could it be that they were standing at the edge of something extraordinary? Could their faith hold the power to unlock the miraculous? As they awaited clarity, the gentle sound of footsteps approached the pulpit. A stranger, cloaked in divine rays of light, gently smiled. There was an undeniable connection, as if their hearts recognized this celestial visitor. "Are you ready to uncover the lies you've held?" the stranger asked, voice resonating with warmth. "And are you prepared to embrace the truth that will set you free?" The congregation leaned in, a mixture of hope and trepidation shimmering in the air. What awaited them beyond this threshold? What truths were tucked away, needing the light of faith to reveal them? An invitation lingered in the air. A divine exploration had begun, beckoning them forward into the unknown. The stranger's eyes sparkled with an unearthly light. He held the gaze of the congregation, each heart drawn into an intimacy with the divine that felt like being enveloped in a warm embrace. "You stand on the brink of revelation," he said softly. "But first, do you recognize what you have held close? These lies that bind, that keep you from the fullness of your faith?" A palpable stillness filled the chapel as everyone reflected. Mary felt the weight inside her begin to stir. What had she believed about herself, about her worth, her fears? There was a familiar voice whispering doubt, but now it felt old, like a tattered cloak she no longer wished to wear. "Each of you carries burdens," the stranger continued. "They may feel insurmountable, but I assure you, the truth holds the key to your freedom. These are the lies that lurk in shadows, misguiding your hearts. You are not defined by your failures, nor summoned by your fears." A murmur passed through the congregation. Sarah was the first to speak, her voice quivering but resolute. "What lies, dear friend? What is it that we need to see?" The stranger smiled, a smile full of understanding. First, the lie that your worth is measured by your past. Each moment you dwell there, you rob yourself of the grace already bestowed upon you. Pastor Thomas stepped forward, emboldened. And the next? The second lies in thinking you are alone in your pain. God is always present. You are surrounded by a community that loves you. Fear not to share your struggles. Mary felt tears well up again, but this time of relief. She looked around, connecting with Elijah's glance. They were not alone. They were together. The third lie, the stranger continued, is believing your prayers go unheard. Every prayer, every whisper is caught in his ears. You are cherished. The divine listens. The congregation collectively sighed, a sound of awakening mixed with regret. It was freeing, and yet it was a deep confirmation of a truth they had often ignored. The fourth lie lies in mistakenly thinking you are undeserving of joy. The joy of the Lord is your strength. A ripple of anticipation grew as the stranger shared the fifth, sixth, and seventh lies, dismantling them layer by layer. Each lie replaced with an explosive promise, an unwavering truth that ignited hope within them. Mary could feel it. The light was expanding, pushing back the shadows twisting around their hearts. With each revelation, cheers arose. Faces lit up with understanding. Jacob, his innocence now radiating, raised his hands high. I refuse to believe those lies any longer. I choose the truth that frees. Mary could hardly contain the joy bubbling in her heart. What if we really embraced this life? She whispered to herself.
Could they walk a new path together, filled with faith and strength? As the stranger stepped back, the radiant light enveloped him, and his voice echoed softly. Embrace this truth, and watch how your lives transform. Remember, miracles are birthed through belief, through action. The congregation erupted with an echo of voices, unified in a chant. We believe, we embrace, we are free. But then, just as swiftly, the light pulsed, dimming momentarily. Confusion rippled through the crowd. What had shifted? In that hush, the stranger looked deep into Mary's eyes, as if aware of a hidden question she had yet to ask. You may accept the truth, but will you dare to act upon it? Because the moment of divine intervention arrives when faith meets action. As those words hung in the air, an electric anticipation stirred within her. What steps would they take together? What miracles awaited? What lies were they still holding? The air in the chapel crackled with a newfound energy. The congregation stood breathless, holding tightly to the moment of truth the stranger had unveiled. The flickering light seemed to pulse with their united hearts, feeding off their collective hope. But Mary could feel a ripple of uncertainty beneath this excitement. They had heard the lies. They had recognized their shackles. Yet as the stranger challenged them to act, a lingering question hung in the silence. How? Our hearts are full, but our steps are unsure, she thought, casting a glance around. She saw faces transformed by clarity, but also tinged with apprehension. Jacob, still glowing with fervor, looked especially determined, as if he felt the whole weight of the congregation's hopes on his shoulders. Will we stand firm in our faith? Sarah questioned next, her brow furrowed with sincerity. What if we stumble? Stumbling is part of the journey, the stranger replied, his voice soothing like a balm. Each misstep brings wisdom. Each failure is an opportunity for growth. The only true failure is choosing never to try. With a gentle nod, he drew the congregation closer, as if inviting them into the circle of divine possibility. Faith needs action, he continued.
Consider what you could do, not just for yourselves, but for one another. What miracles can flow from a community that supports and uplifts? Mary's eyes sparkled at his words. She had been thinking of her own struggles, the hesitations that had kept her bound. But just like that shedding cloak, she sensed the vitality of these new truths, the collective potential of them all working together. Elijah spoke next, his voice a soft melody against the chapel's stillness. What if we formed small groups, shared our burdens? If we reached out to those in need, might we not witness miracles? Might our own struggles be lifted away in the very act of helping others? The stranger smiled, clearly touched by Elijah's suggestion. That's the spirit. The seed of action takes root in love.
Gather your community. Let your hearts beat as one, and watch how the divine operates through you. Encouragement sparked among the others like fireflies in the evening dusk. Each face turned brighter, imaginations lighting up with what this could look like. Groups formed in clusters, speaking fervently, exchanging ideas too sacred to keep silent. Let's organize days of service, Jacob grinned, his eyes shining. Help the elderly, visit the sick. We can nourish not just our souls, but our neighbors' hearts. Mary felt exhilarated. I will paint and teach art to those who can't afford it, sharing joy through creativity. With each new idea, hope rippled through the air. Anecdotes of small grievances transformed into visions of strength. Laughter and inspiration began to echo off the chapel walls. The stranger stepped back, allowing the life in the room to flourish. But even in this beautiful gathering, Mary's heart simmered with an unanswered question. Could they sustain this momentum? Fear tickled the edges of her thoughts again. What if they faced pushback? What if old habits tried to creep back in, like shadows chasing the light? As if sensing her turmoil, the stranger gave her a piercing look. What you nurture grows. Tend to your faith as you would a garden. When weeds try to take hold, uproot them immediately with hope and truth. Remember that your community is your strength. With that, the stranger turned towards the chapel's grand doors, a silhouette framed by rising light. Before he stepped outside, he called back to them. When one lamp is lit, its flame ignites others. Who will you light next? In that moment, Mary felt the stirrings of a divine charge within her. She grasped the weight of his words. They were at a threshold. With burning hearts, they sat poised to leap into action. An unseen journey lay ahead of them, a path laden with challenges but drenched in the promise of miracles. What would they dare to face? What would they ignite together? What else might be uncovered as they embraced this truth with no hesitation? As the strangers stepped out, the sunlight poured in, bathing the chapel in a warm golden glow that felt almost palpable. Mary watched him go, his figure becoming a silhouette against the brightening sky. With his departure, a whirl of emotion surged within her. There was the thrill of anticipation mingled with an echoing fear that clung to her heart like morning mist. Eager whispers filled the chapel. Each member had become a fountain of ideas, overflowing with the desire to do good. Yet Mary could sense that beneath the chatter lay the undercurrents of doubt. Would these dreams hold strong against the storms of everyday life? Could they dare to challenge the deeply ingrained lies that had held them captive for so long? Let us meet tomorrow in groups, Jacob proposed, a time to share our ideas, our fears, and our prayers. We can form a plan. Yes, Sarah echoed, her eyes sparkling. Let's pour our hearts out and lift each other. We can't do this alone. As excitement swelled, Mary's heart became a battleground. She stood silently, wrestling with her own insecurities. What if her art didn't resonate?
What if her efforts seemed insignificant in the face of such deep-rooted need? Just then, a soft voice interrupted her thoughts. It was Elijah, standing a mere foot away. "Mary," he said gently, "your art brings joy. That is a gift you can offer. Every little act can set off a ripple, don't forget." His words were like a salve, soothing the worries that had taken root. A small smile crept upon her lips. She nodded, feeling the warmth of encouragement wrap around her, and yet the question lingered. What if they faltered amidst the challenges? Days passed, and the chapel buzzed with plans. Each gathering brimmed with laughter, debate, and moments of sacred stillness where prayers ascended like smoke to heaven. They formed groups, a team for the elderly, another for the sick, and even a creative arts circle spun from Mary's initial idea. The atmosphere glowed, charged with hope. But as encouragement took flight, so too did the opposition. Mary soon witnessed flares of doubt as she walked through town. Whispers of scorn and rolled eyes met her as she ventured to paint a mural at the local community center. She overheard words like foolishness and wasting time floating in the air like unwelcome shadows. One evening, sitting with her group, Mary confessed her fears. "What if we are laughed at? What if the world doesn't accept our light?" Her voice trembled as vulnerability bubbled to the surface. Jacob leaned forward, a fierce light in his eyes. "That's just another lie. Remember the stranger's words? Doubt is a thief. Don't allow it to steal our hope." "Hold on to this truth," Sarah added, gripping Mary's hand. "What if every act of love, even against the tide, could spark something greater? What if our truth is stronger than the world's judgment?" Around the circle, expressions transformed into quiet determination. They began to realize that the challenges they faced were not obstacles, but opportunities to unveil their steadfast faith. The weight of the world pressed down, yes, but in every heart, the power to rise up against it grew stronger. "We have been given strength. We have been equipped," Mary said, her voice a whisper, yet resonating with conviction. "Let us not waver. Let us remember who we are." The group nodded. In their shared resolve, they began penning letters of encouragement to the elderly, sketching plans for art classes, and arranging visits for the sick. They were a tapestry woven from the threads of their dreams, each one radiant in its own right. However, just as momentum gathered, a storm brewed on the horizon. The town meeting loomed, a gathering that would determine the fate of their efforts. Word had spread about their initiatives, but not all were in favor. Murmurs of dissent flickered ominously, threatening to snuff out their glow. Would they have the courage to rise above the fray? As shadows crept in, they prepared for confrontation. What might be revealed in the depths of such trials? Would they stand united, lighting the way into the unknown? The night before the meeting, Mary lay in bed, her heart racing. Amidst the swirling thoughts, one truth settled deep within. Sometimes clarity is born through chaos, and faith shines brightest in moments of uncertainty. What revelation awaited them in the meeting to come? The next morning dawned with an uneasy stillness, the kind that wraps around your heart as you brace for a storm. Mary could feel the tension hanging in the air, heavy like fog before the rain. She arrived at the chapel early, seeking solace in the familiar sacred space. As the sunlight streamed through the stained glass, casting vibrant colors onto the wooden pews, she closed her eyes. She breathed deeply, drawing in the warmth and beauty surrounding her. In that moment, she surrendered her worries to God. "Lord, grant us strength," she whispered, her heart beating a rhythm of hope. One by one, the group trickled in. Jacob, Sarah, and Elijah took their places, each of them carrying a mixture of determination and trepidation. They shared nervous glances, silently acknowledging the weight of the day ahead. "Let's pray," Jacob said, his voice steady. "We need God to be with us as we face this challenge." They huddled together, hands clasped. The fervent prayers rose like incense, filling the chapel with an aura of peace that felt almost tangible. Mary opened her eyes as they finished, her resolve hardening. They gathered their sketches and notes, poring over plans for the upcoming meeting. As they prepared, laughter broke out unexpectedly. Sarah shared a funny story from their first group meeting, the sound echoing joyfully against the chapel's stone walls. That moment bound them, knitting their spirits closer amidst the uncertainty. As the hour drew near, they walked together towards the town hall, a united front. The air pulsed with energy, heavy with anticipation. Each step felt like a declaration of faith, not just for themselves, but for every soul yearning for light in the shadowy corners of the town. Inside the town hall, they took their seats. The room buzzed with voices, the clamor of different agendas creating a tension that made Mary's stomach churn. She glanced at her friends, who gathered strength from each other's presence. They would not be alone in this. Finally, the meeting commenced. The mayor's voice thundered across the room, impressively authoritative, yet laced with skepticism. "Now let's hear these proposals about community betterment," he said, his tone laced with derision. One by one, members from the community took turns to voice their concerns, some against the very initiatives that Mary and her friends had proposed.
As words like foolishness echoed back to her, a shiver coursed through Mary. Yet, amidst the clamor of doubt, she felt a growing fire within her, a calling that could not be ignored. "May I speak?" The words bubbled up from deep inside, spilling forth before she could second-guess herself. The room quieted, eyes all turning to her. She stood up, her heart racing. "We may seem small, but our dreams are filled with love. We believe that every act of kindness, every brushstroke of art holds the power to change hearts." Elijah joined her, his voice rising alongside hers. "Together, we can create ripples that spread wide. We are here to uplift the elderly, comfort the sick, and inspire each other." Mary saw a flicker of interest in some faces, but in others, skepticism still loomed. "Let's be real," chimed in a voice from the back. "Do you really think art will fix our problems?" That doubt clawed at the edges of her confidence, but another surge of courage washed over her. "What if it could?" she implored, drawing from the depths of her heart. "What if, through love and creativity, we could breathe hope into the shadows?" Her voice rang with fervor, unwavering and clear. "What if we choose not to listen to the lies that push us down? Can we not unite instead, lighting this town with compassion?" Silence hung thick after her words, palpable and charged. For a moment, hope swirled in the air like the first light of dawn breaking through the darkness. Would their fervor touch the hearts of those who opposed them? Would they be seen not just as dreamers, but as beacons of change? The room held its breath, waiting for their futures to unfold before them. As the mayor's gaze turned towards them, anticipation crackled in the air. What verdict would the town decide? Would they find themselves rooted in faith, rising above the tides of doubt? Or would they return home, their dreams fading back into whispers? In those next moments, a truth illuminated the darkness. Every journey begins with a choice. Would they stand firm together in this pivotal moment? Mary's heart raced as the tension in the room heightened. Silence reverberated, alive with unspoken questions and unguessed resolutions. The mayor's eyes glimmered with a hint of skepticism, yet buried beneath layers of doubt, she sensed a flicker of curiosity among the crowd. "Are we not capable of change?" Mary asked boldly, her voice steadying with each word. "Every movement, every transformation we admire in the world, it started with the spark of a dream."
Jacob leaned forward, his spirit igniting alongside hers. "We are here to share a vision of art that can heal and give hope." A murmur swept through the audience, mixed expressions reflecting varying degrees of inspiration and reluctance. Some nodded, while others crossed their arms, unconvinced. The air hung heavy, each breath tinged with possibility. Sarah, who had been quiet until now, rose to speak.
Art is a language that transcends barriers. It speaks to the heart when words fail. Our community has suffered long enough in silence. Let us give it a voice. Mary watched as a few faces softened. Hope rippled like a breeze that hinted at rain. The idea blossomed in her heart. What if their combined faith could blossom into a movement? "Imagine," Elijah interjected, his eyes bright with excitement. "Imagine murals that tell our stories, community gardens bursting with life, workshops that inspire creativity. Each element breaks walls and builds bridges. It's time to embrace the beauty of collaboration." In that moment, Mary glimpsed the sacred essence of their mission. It was about more than just projects. It was about connecting souls, rebuilding a fragmented community, and breathing life into a shared dream. The once skeptical faces began to resonate with the energy of their conviction. Each aspiring artist, gardener, or counselor in the room suddenly felt alive with purpose. The mayor shifted in his seat, perhaps realizing the potential that lurked beneath the surface. But how can we trust this will work? What guarantees do we have? Mary felt her throat tighten, but fear was swallowed by a wave of clarity. We cannot promise numbers, but we can promise devotion. Every heart that dares to create from love spins a thread of hope. A ripple of recognition traveled through the meeting room. Eyes darted towards one another, unearthed vulnerability empowering the collective spirit. This was about planting seeds, fragile yet bursting with promise. As whispers began to fill the room, Mary felt the warmth of divine support wrapping around her. She knew they were standing on the threshold of something greater than themselves. The shadows of doubt might still linger, but faith was growing like wildflowers. It was beautiful, untouched by fear. Just when Mary thought the tide was shifting, a new voice carried through the air. "There are those who won't accept this. How do we ensure they don't drown our light in doubt?" It was the voice of a respected elder, his gaze heavy with life's experiences. "By not backing down," Sarah replied firmly. "By pouring love back into our town. We need each other, and together love can transform even the darkest hearts. Every act of kindness is a brushstroke for change." "And maybe," Jacob added with a hint of mischief, "we can throw in a few surprises along the way." The group laughed, the sound a healing balm against the tension. Mary could see the elder's stern expression soften, his resistance waning. There was a chance, a promise in the air that both excited and terrified her. "Let's take this vote," declared the mayor, a hint of respect edging into his tone. "But remember, it's not just about art, it's about hope. If you stand united, we shall witness miracles." As hands were raised and voices rose in affirmation, Mary's heart soared.
They were no longer just dreamers. They were pioneers of change, clasping hands ready to face the storms together. Yet within her a question stirred like a gentle breeze, a call for deeper understanding. What would it take for their passion to ignite an unwavering faith in others? Would the people of this town shed their doubts and embrace the journey? As they awaited the verdict of the vote, she could sense that the real storm was only just beginning. What uncharted territories of beauty awaited their courage? The days turned into weeks, and Mary's village felt alive with possibility. Yet the echoes of doubt still hung like clouds, continuously threatening their vibrant dreams. The initial excitement had merged into something more profound, an unwavering resolve to stand together against the winds of uncertainty. Inside the chapel, the faithful gathered once more, a kaleidoscope of eager hearts, each ready for the next step in their journey. Mary stood at the front, flanked by Jacob and Elijah, their faces aglow with anticipation and fear. "Today we take our faith and action into the hands of God," she began, her voice steady. "We believe in the miracles waiting to blossom within our community." Pastor Thomas stepped forward, his presence filling the room with warmth. "Each of you carries a light within. Do not hide it under a basket. Instead, let it shine bright, igniting the hopes of others." As he spoke, Mary looked around and caught the eyes of familiar faces, friends and neighbors, a tapestry of dreams woven from their experiences. Each represented tales of struggle and hope, intertwined by faith. The first initiative was a community art day to transform the local park into a canvas of color where art would not just beautify but also bond the community. They discussed launching workshops, inviting everyone to contribute, to paint their stories out in the open, leaving shadows behind them. As days passed, excitement and fear coexisted in equal measure. Community members joined hands and hearts. Old grudges melted under the warmth of shared creativity. The park became a bustling hub, filled with laughter and color, thriving alongside the garden that now bore fresh produce tended to by eager volunteers. The art day arrived like a herald of hope. The sun shone brightly, warming the crisp air as children dashed about, splattering paint and creating joyful chaos. Mary watched as her village transformed. That once quiet space now sang with laughter and delight, just like the chapel did on prayer nights. Faith rippled through the gathering. It made an impact. Neighbors who once exchanged cold glances now mingled, sharing stories and rekindling old friendships. Yet as all seemed glorious, the shadow of doubt loomed large still. Old Mr. Thompson, the same man who had once cast shadows over Mary's hope, stood at the edge, arms crossed, a stormy expression etched on his face. Mary felt a tug in her heart.
This was her opportunity, a moment to extend grace and truth. She approached him gently. "Mr. Thompson, why do you stand apart?" He met her gaze, his demeanor rigid and wary. "What good is all this?" he asked, voice holding the weight of years spent wrapped in disbelief. "You're just painting over the problems." Taking a deep breath, Mary replied, "Art awakens hope. Change begins inside before it can touch the outside." She paused, feeling courage swell within her. "You too were once a child filled with dreams. Have they all faded? Let us show you that love is still alive here." For an instant, fire flickered in his eyes. Something stirred. "I don't know if it will last," he muttered, almost to himself. Mary smiled softly. "Hope doesn't need to know how or when. It just needs to believe. Will you not join us, Mr. Thompson? Share your story with us?" He hesitated, and in that moment, Mary extended her hand. "Let your voice help paint this picture of community." With a heavy sigh, he moved to accept her hand, and the crowd suddenly quieted, eager to witness this interaction. As their fingers clasped, something shifted. Murmurs spread through the crowd. They saw him differently, not just as a skeptic, but as a lost companion seeking connection. He cleared his throat, emotion rising. "I've watched this village grapple with darkness for too long. I didn't want to believe it could be different, but maybe it can."
His voice trembled as faces turned toward him. Collective breaths held in surprise began to release, and the warmth of acceptance wrapped around Mr. Thompson. People approached, offering kindness and opportunities for him to share his art, to reflect on the values built through connection. That day stood as a testament, not just of art, but of redemption, relationships forged anew. All around, joy bubbled forth, filling the hearts with gratitude. Mary's heart swelled with wonder. "This is God's work right here, right now," she whispered, looking toward the sky. It felt stronger, brighter than ever before. Yet she knew that a journey was never without its trials. The community had embraced the light, but darkness would always seek to dim it. What awaited them next? The next challenge, the next breakthrough? As the days became weeks, they did not forget the lessons learned. Faith intertwining with action, fueled by love, propelled their village forward. Then one evening, news spread through the quiet streets. A neighboring town, grappling with despair, had reached out. A suggestion floated, a partnership to raise spirits, sharing their art for a festival, intertwining journeys of healing and hope. Mary's heart raced with exhilaration. The lies that once bound her now opened doors to new pursuits. She gathered her friends in the chapel, ready to share the news and ignite their spirits once more. As they prepared, deep within, Mary felt the anticipation of something truly miraculous brewing.
Together they would rise yet again, buoyed by the passion of a community uniting under one light. This was only the beginning. The sacred spark that ignited once would guide them anew. The possibilities stretched infinitely, like a sunset blooming across the horizon, a promise that echoed memories of transformation and the eternal power of faith. And in that moment, her prayer rang loud and clear. "Lord, let us always seek your light. For every heart united in love is a pathway to miracles yet unseen." The journey ahead was uncertain, but the divine was alive in every step. Together they would continue to create, to discover, to love, and to witness the never-ending manifestations of God in their lives. And now, dear friends, we humbly invite you to be part of this journey. You need to subscribe now and not miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and amplify our message. Comment your reactions and testimonies about the ending. Your voice matters. And please share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this divine manifestation. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait even one more second to share. Together, let's promote faith, hope, and love through every action.